baby. What is up? And welcome to another edition of Kevin and Zach React. And wouldn't be Kevin and Zach React if it was just one person. So I got to bring on the other half. Kevin Ostreicher. Kevin, we are less than 24 hours away from the Baltimore Orioles hosting the Kansas City Royals. 10-year anniversary of all that going down in 14. Back at the yard. First game of the playoffs. How are we feeling?
Oh, it's like the night before Christmas, where you have all that anticipation and you know what's coming, but it's just not here yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people are going to be laying out their outfits to go down to the yard tomorrow on their bed before. Yeah, you're going to. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, man. And this is what you play for. We had said all year, just get in. Certainly wasn't pretty at points for this team, but they came within a game of winning at least 2 games or something along those lines, and
just by three,
whatever it is. And we know the injuries they've been through. So, in my opinion, man, like we heard a bunch of people say this, but this is anyone's title. This is anyone's World Series right now. Why? Very well might not be the Orioles, but you know what it very well could be. And that's kind of the allure to the playoffs for me this year is usually they have those favorites of like, oh, this team's just been dominating the league, but really we didn't have that this year.
Yeah, this is as wide open of a playoff, not even serious playoff, bracket as we've ever seen. We were talking to Tim Kirchin on the Ryan Ripken show last week, and on Thursday, Tim said this is for the first time in all of his years of covering baseball. It's the first time that he legitimately looks at the playoff brackets and goes, I don't know who's going to win this. It's one of those years where it's legitimately anybody's to win. We're going to see guys, like the Orioles, teams like the Orioles, who hope they can go on runs. You've seen teams like the Tigers who were completely dead and gone. They make the playoffs. Today, we see both the Braves and Mets make the playoffs. Weirdly, both of those teams about a month ago, neither thought they were making it. It's just been a very weird year when it comes to playoffs. So it's anybody's World Series. It legitimately is. And I'm excited. That's the biggest thing is I'm just excited.
Yeah, any postseason sport is exciting. I mean, I feel this way with football playoffs, obviously with the Ravens and just that energy in the air where it's, January, you know what time it is. And in basketball with those playoffs, that's a whole marathon and that starts up in April, May. And for baseball, it's like, hey, when the calendar month turns to October, you know what time it is. And it's baseball time. So it's very rare that we've had playoff baseball here in Baltimore, obviously back-to-back years for the first time in a very long time. And it makes it all that more exciting where, just because there isn't really a favorite makes me have higher expectations for them because I think that if the right team gets hot, and that could very well be the Orioles, hey, man, it's anyone's ball game. And it's just everything leading up to it. The roster being announced, seeing who's on the team and figuring out the lineups and figuring out the rotation for each series. It's like that is what we were robbed of last year. Obviously, The Orioles didn't play well enough. Texas, they played a buzzsaw essentially that year and in Texas last year. But they have a chance to not rewrite history, but to add another chapter on. And I think it is more poetic that it is Kansas City based off of what you mentioned in 2014 and the infamous O's Ain't Royal shirt from the one Jeremy Guthrie himself. And I know that still gets you.
I think of it to this day, Kevin. I think of it to this day. I've never been 14-year-old me has never felt so backstabbed, Kevin.
Yeah. So, hey, man, that was their year, but hopefully this can be the Orioles one and they can get off to a nice start because you know what's that? They get through Kansas City, and that's going to be no easy task. But if they get through Kansas City and they go to New York, we've seen what the Orioles can do in New York in particular. And while I'm not crowning them the ALDS champs, of course, that'd be foolish of me.
Yeah.
That's going to be one heck of a series if it gets there.
Yeah, and we talked to Billy Ripken today, and he uttered the words. He said, the Orioles don't have Yankee-itis, and the Orioles certainly don't have Yankee Stadium-itis. The Orioles aren't afraid to go into New York. The Orioles aren't afraid to play the Yankees. If anything, it's the Yankees who don't want to see this Oriole team that has confidence walking into New York come in hot off of winning 5 of their last 6, 2 of which were in New York. Then they sweep the Twins. Then if they're heading to New York, that means they just took out the Kansas City Royals. That's a lot of momentum starting to really build up, and that is a scary thing to see if you're a team like the Yankees who will have had a week off. We saw how that impacted teams last year. And we talk about the randomness of baseball, how it's just getting in the playoffs is not easy. No Rangers, no D-backs this year. The World Series matchup from last year, neither team is in the playoffs. Neither team is in the playoffs. It's baseball.
Yeah. And that's just it's the parody. And I personally love parody, right? I mean, we talk about football all the time of all those Patriots years, and it's just like, come on, man, really, we're doing this again? Or like now with Kansas City, it's like, can we switch it up a little bit? Can we get something a little different? This is getting old. And in baseball, there have been moments like that, but recently you do have parity. And I love that, where these mid-market, small market teams are making a push, and it's not just the Yankees and the Mets and the Dodgers spend all this money and they're in the World Series every single season. We see these mid to small market teams go up pound for pound with those big powerhouse, whatever you want to call them, with all the money that they spend. And for an Orioles team that is certainly going to have some decisions to make down the line with their contracts and their money, they went out there and they made a big move in getting Corbin Burns right before the season started. And their young core, while it's certainly gone through struggles at times, and obviously we've talked about the injuries. I mean, we'll pull up some stats as we go along here on this preview edition, but there are a lot of things that make you feel encouraged, some stuff that might make you worry a little bit, but that's with every team. It's not just an Orioles thing, where every team has their flaws, every team has their strengths, but you're going up against the Royals team. The Orioles have their stars and plenty of them, but you got Reagans and Lugo and Bobby Witt and Salvador Perez and a couple other guys that can make you pay. Now, the Orioles got the better of Kansas City overall this season, but
that was very early on.
I say, first of all, yeah, they were done with them in like April. Like they pushed them out. They said, all right, we're done with this. But it's a whole new season now. Like you learned that last year too, where everyone's like, oh, this Orioles team, they win 100 games, they're the AL East champs and this, that, and the other. And then Texas comes in and just steals their lunch money. So it's not about what you do in the regular season. It's about how you finish off the year. Any sport, this is the case. And so if the Orioles team can get hot at the right time, this is what I love, because you establish trends from seasons when in the regular season. But in the regular season, that's one thing. You move to the playoffs, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it really is. And Steve bring this up. Not only 2 losing streaks of 7 games this year, 2 losing streaks of 7 games since I believe like August 28th or something. Like it's within the past month.
They had come all the way back on Cleveland for the Central.
They overtook Cleveland for the Central, and people were like, oh, Kansas City is about to run away with this. Then they had multiple 7-game losing streaks and almost found their way out of the playoffs. The Royals ain't playing the greatest ball of all time. I also want to say they were I think a game above 500 against the rest of Major League Baseball, and they were 12-1 against the Chicago White Sox this year. So if you want to talk about how the Royals got in,
yeah. That'll do it.
Went real fast, Johnny. Appreciate you. Says thanks for all the post-game shows this year. Really enjoyed it. We appreciate everyone who tunes into these, win or lose. These are fun, and that's why we wanted to do this, because we didn't get to yesterday. So we wanted to kind of pretty much what tonight's going to be, nothing too grand, nothing too big, but we're going to talk about we'll talk about the season as a whole. We'll probably get into that just here in a second, kind of talk about who we think our MVP, most improved player, stuff like that for the season. Maybe we'll do a 1 up, 1 down for the entire season.
A little award show.
So we'll do that. We'll do that. And then most of it will be kind of just previewing tomorrow and what is to come. So,
yeah, there's also a disgusting football game going on right now where I, of course, have 3 players in it, and I'm going to lose because the Titans and Dolphins don't know how to
That's a bad
field a
football game.
competent
It's a
quarterback.
bad
It's
football game.
yeah, I have no words for what's going on in that game right now.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley, by the way.
Yeah, and Nathaniel, appreciate this. Tune in as a Yankees fan. He says, I will say this as a Yankee fan. Cal Ripken did say that when y'all weren't afraid of us back in 2012. We saw that. I will, Nathan, I have to say, Nathaniel, it hit the foul pole. Nate McLeod hit the foul pole. I think of that at least once a week. Nate McLeod hit the foul pole. But appreciate you tuning in. And yes, I hope this era will last a lot longer than the last one, because we felt like the last one with the Manny Machado, Jonathan Scope era was kind of going to be, that was going to carry us for the next 10 years.
I thought they had it. And so you can never. I mean, the Cubs thought they had it, and all these teams
Astros are the only teams who actually had it.
Yeah,
like a lot of teams think they had it. The Astros are the only one. And yes, I should bring up before we get too far in anything. Rest in peace, Pete Rose and Dikembe Mutombo. So that was
rough day today.
Rough day for the sports world. And that, but let's talk full season right now. Let's talk about not looking ahead, but looking behind. So for the season, Orioles end up with 91 wins. Kevin, let's just ask the big question. Let's ask the question everyone wants to answer. Was the regular season a success or a failure?
Well, the fact they got into the playoffs, I think, makes it a success in its own right. I mean, again, I don't think people really care now that we're here if the Orioles are the 1 seed or the last seed. I just think that they care that they're in. And I know that there were certain specific isolated failures within the regular season, but when you look at it as a whole, I would call it a success. The team won over 90 games. And I think a lot of people are looking at it of just the inconsistency that they had. And that's where the question pops up. And, Zach and I, we've been honest about the inconsistencies they've had. We've given them criticism when they've deserved it, and we've given them praise when they deserve it. That's the beauty of being objective and, not taking one side or the other. But I think when you look at a team that wins 90 games and makes the playoffs and has a shot and is playing good ball, I would call it a success. And I know that not everyone will agree with that, but I believe that they accomplished their first goal, which was just getting into the dance. Now, if they lose in a sweep-like fashion in the wild card round, then we can look at the season as a whole. But I see All-Star saying it right here, too. They had a lot of injuries, man.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of injuries, man. The fact that this team did that, winning 90 games, not that any team in the MLB, not that other teams didn't, but the Orioles went through it this season. All the starting pitchers they lost a couple key positional guys, and they still managed to slog through it, go through those tough stretches, and they were tough. But for a team to win 90 games with that injury list and to do what they did, I'd call that honestly kind of impressive.
Yeah, and Kevin, I couldn't agree with you more. It's a success because at the end of the day, we are talking strictly regular season. We don't know what's going to happen in the postseason. That will ultimately decide if this entire season was a failure or a success. But if you're looking at just the regular season, winning 91 games, you brought up the injuries. You brought up the struggles, all that. None of that even matters or should factor in, because at the end of the day, you made the playoffs. The goal is to make the playoffs. Yes, is it cool to win the division? Yeah. Was it cool to have the 1 seed last year? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you gotta make the dance. The goal, you have a singular goal. Make the dance. That's all. Like I just said, the division's cool. You would love to have the bye if to rest some guys up. But at the end of the day, both wildcard teams last year made the World Series. It's just about getting in the dance.
It is. I mean, we see it over and over again. I mean, we literally saw it last year in baseball. Like this is not like, oh, that kind of happens sometimes. It literally happened last year. And so I know, and, we've talked about it, how, Tim Kirchin and Bill and all these guys have said, hey, a lot of these teams could have this Texas Rangers like run this season, and the Orioles certainly are in that conversation. So anything can happen, but I think and look, I see Demon here saying
Yeah,
that if this happens, King of the East, the real King of
yeah,
the East, who is it? Is it the Yankees who won the division in that ALDS? Are they going to take down the Orioles, or is it the Orioles who maybe can get the better in New York? So obviously, there's still a step you got to complete for Baltimore. You got to get past Kansas City.
yeah.
You can't overlook that team. But Orioles, Yankees, ALDS would be cinema.
Yeah, and it's something that we talked about early when before both teams had struggles through the mid late months. We said it just feels like one of those years, like you said, Kevin, you can't overlook the Royals. The Orioles have a step. But it just all year it had that feeling that if the Orioles or the Yankees wanted to go on and do something big, if they wanted to go to the World Series, if they wanted to win something, you had to go through the other. It just felt like from day one, the Orioles and Yankees were on a crash course for each other. And I think that is how it should be. That is why I was happy that we would get the Yankees. I didn't want Cleveland to get the 1 seed. I wanted the Yankees to get it. I wanted us or the Yankees to get it because I wanted it to be, if we beat the Royals, I want to go to New York. I want to go and play the Yankees, the team we've played 13 times this year. We know them, they know us. It's just, it has, like you said, it's cinema. It's just the buildup. 5 games, first one to win 3, Orioles, Yankees. This is the stuff like we talk about why we play the games, why you're a fan, why you sit through 162 games. It's for moments like that. It's for moments like tomorrow. Let's just look at you. You go through these games. You hate the lows. You love the highs. To sit here for an opportunity tomorrow to win a playoff game, something the Orioles haven't done since 2014.
Yeah. And again, I think myself included, a lot of people thought they had it that year. A lot of people thought they had it in a couple of years. But you can rewrite your own chapter. Oh, I guess not. I don't want to use the word rewrite. You can add a chapter. You can add a chapter. What's done is done. But for a young core, you would hope that they took what they learned last season. We talked with Bill Ripken about this as well today. Of they ran into that buzzsaw in Texas. It was a rough series for them, but now they're a year older, and they can take that experience and learn from it. And hopefully they have, because it's not just the Orioles that feel like they have a shot. Every team that makes the dance does.
And they
And
should.
especially, the fact that it's wide open adds motivation not only for Baltimore, but for everybody else. So you're going to play every team that's hungry. And it's a little different because there's not that like looming matchup you're waiting for. You think you're that matchup. Every team thinks they're that matchup because there's not one this season. And that's scary for every team. But for an Orioles offense where, again, we've never said it's a talent issue with that group. It's more consistency-wise, and can they get it going for a pitching staff that, it's tough losing Grayson, and obviously Bradish has been out for a while now. But Burns, Eflin, 1-2, you feel about as confident as ever in those two guys. And a bullpen that, sure, has struggled at times with consistency, but we've seen guys step up, namely Gregory Soto and a bunch of other names. So it feels like the Orioles have the roster. It's not a perfect roster by any stretch. I still wish they could have done a bit more at the trade deadline, but it is what it is. But you're going to war with these guys, right? And hot streaks from Colton Cowser, hot streaks from Gunnar, Adley's finding his groove, Westberg coming in and being the producer again and not really missing a beat. Seti doing his thing, Tony with the power. This Orioles lineup, we said at the beginning of the season, and it's still true. It's just they haven't used their talent consistently. It's 1 through 9. This team is really annoying to pitch to. But it's just a matter of can they find it on a game-to-game basis, because here's what I said, especially with the defense, the errors this year. Errors and mistakes are magnified 10 times more in the playoffs. You don't get a do-over. You don't get to say, all right, well, that stunk. Here's the next game. Mm-hmm. If you lose game one off a mistake, you're down 1-0. You don't get we'll see if we can win the series tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get them again in a month when we play them again. That's it. You have to be able to capitalize, and that's what I need to see the Orioles do, and I hope that they can.
Yeah, and we talked about it today. Since they implemented the entire wild card round, where it wasn't just one game, it was 3 teams in the wild card round, so 2 series in each league. There have been 8 wild card series in the modern baseball new wild card era past 2 years. 7 of those 8 series ended in 2-game sweeps. If you don't think tomorrow is the biggest game in the past 10 years for the Baltimore Orioles, you are sadly mistaken. This is tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. So it's going to be one of those things where, exactly like you said, Kevin, there is no, okay, guys, well, tough one. Let's try to bounce back. It's, if you lose tomorrow, you've dug yourself a hole, and now you have to go out and win the next 2. Or we're sitting here talking about our next Kevin and Zach Reacts' free agency possibilities for the Baltimore Orioles.
Man, we can't do that. We can't do that this early. We can't do that this early. That's too soon. We have to be able to enjoy these playoffs, man. If that happens, it leaves such a sour taste in my mouth.
It's what happened last year, and it's why. But I'm feeling a lot more confident.
Well, we're coming up on your 1 year at the
we're
show
actually,
now. Do you have the day on that?
I'll have to.
Because for those who don't know, Zach's first, was it the virtual appearance?
My first appearance was the virtual appearance, and we talked about how this could be the last time we talk about the Orioles as we previewed the series with the Rangers. We were like, next time we talk, we might not have Orioles baseball. Ha, 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 ha. That means they'd get swept. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Go out there and just win tomorrow, Kevin. Just win tomorrow. So, Kevin, we just talked about if it's a success or a failure. First of all, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. This is Kevin and Zach React. We go live after every single Orioles and Ravens game, also for breaking news, stuff like this. So, yeah, hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy the content. Kevin, next up.
Well, let's get to Joe's.
I did.
Joe's super chat here has brought to my attention that baseball and KCR is my side piece.
I appreciate that.
Love you guys. Hey,
appreciate you. Love you too, Joe.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Look at that. That's what is that? The biggest compliment you can get? Is that how that goes? I don't know.
I think that's up there. So, Joe, I appreciate that. Appreciate you, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, you're the man.
So, Kevin, I think we saw who the media gave the award to, but in your eyes, to Kevin Ostreicher, the 2024 Orioles regular season most valuable player is?
I'm going to take the long approach here, and I know you're surprised, Zach. I never do this. It's between 3 guys for me: Gunnar Henderson, Santander, and Corbin Burns. Gunnar was great all season. I know that's who got the award, but I'm gonna take him out just because I want to be different. But no, actually, I feel like for Gunnar, great season, and he's number 2 to me. But I just think the guy I pick, they're not where they are without him. Not that they're not where they are without Gunnar. Corbin was great, but he's number 3. He was the ace the staff needed for the most part this year. But the Orioles are nowhere near where they are without Tony this year. They're nowhere near. And I understand that, Gunnar provides more value in certain areas. I get it. I'm not trying to discredit. I think Gunner's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about the most valuable Oriole or the most valuable player, the heart and the soul of this team is Tony. And that carries. A guy that has 40-plus homers and has a career year like he did and comes up in the biggest moments and drags them out of the depths of hell when they are there. Yep. I mean, you see him. And again, Is it a perfect thing for Tony? Is he always the guy that comes through? Not always, but no player is. But more often than not, Tony came through. He showed the passion. He showed the emotion. And again, it's two different awards to me. Gunner's the best player on the team. But in my opinion, Tony being the heart and soul and having the year that he did can't be overlooked. And those two combined put him over Gunner for me.
Yeah, I think Tony is my number one as well. I'm going to give him my MVP. But I kind of was between the same. I was between three, but it wasn't Corbin. My pitcher was Albert Suarez. I still believe that just when you take into account everything he meant to this team, all the moments he stepped up for when they needed him. I've really thought about that. And Joe, I see you saying Westy. I thought about it. Oh, I thought about saying Jordan Westburg. Don't you get me wrong. I'm going to give it to Tony, but my number two is going to be Albert Suarez, solely from the fact that, hey, this was a guy that no one saw coming. Absolutely no one saw coming. And he went out there and he proved everyone wrong. I thought he was probably going to get one singular start and then he would be some trivia question in 10 years.
There are a lot of trivia questions this year.
Yeah, so Suarez is going to be my number two, but it's going to be Tony. I think we agree. He's the Orioles MVP. So KZR, first annual KZR Orioles MVP. Congratulations.
Wow. Hey, well, we can make it a. Do I have like? I'm trying to see if I have like a festive thing I can. I don't know. I don't have anything festive, but you know what? We can make it a whole awards show where we go most valuable Oriole. How about let's do this one next? Most surprising. I think you named a couple guys who could be on that list, obviously.
Most surprising is kind of, should we?
Why don't you do one pitcher, one hitter?
Yeah, okay. One pitcher, one hitter. Most surprising pitcher, Albert Suarez. I mean, absolute dog. No one knew who he was. Let's just call it what it is. No one knew. People also don't understand he was signed last year. Like he was signed at the end of last year, so he has just come out of nowhere. And has just been probably the biggest impact of guys you didn't know were on this team, and then comes out and becomes a star. For hitters, it gets a little more interesting. Biggest surprise. Why don't you give your pitcher? I feel like your pitcher's the same.
Yeah, I mean it's Suarez. I'm trying to see if I can find someone else just like a number two option like you had for the MVP.
For pitcher, it's kind of.
I mean, I feel like there's really just one.
Yeah,
like
I feel
he is like the comeback guy. Like this is to me he's going to be up for national awards. Like,
yeah,
I don't think it's anybody else but Albert Suarez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
then if we want to go most surprising, it kind of gives me the same vibes, but from the hitter is maybe some recency bias in this, but Emmanuel Rivera. I think he's kind of the guy that just came out of nowhere and really just, he's only been up for like a month now, and he's gotten the job done every time he's needed to. At times he's been legitimately the guy that you're like, I hope Emmanuel Rivera steps up to the plate right now. Like, which is crazy.
Yeah. I'm going to go a bit different. Well, what do you have in it? Yeah, that's another way to use the word surprise, Spirit. But I'm like, you know what? You are not wrong. You are definitely not wrong. And you know what? That will live in Orioles lore forever. Forever. I'm going to go a little different, though, because I agree. Rivera was a surprise. I'm going to go James McCann, because I wasn't necessarily expecting a ton out of him as the backup catcher this year. He did a lot more for me than I thought he was going to, just in terms of being a leader, but also the production. I mean, I'm not saying he was this 300 hitter that hit 30 home runs this season, but in spots, obviously doing the catching for a lot of these guys, and obviously some of these pitchers have a rapport with him that they really value. I wasn't expecting a ton out of McCann coming back, but I got to give it to him, man. Really, really important part of this team. And so I was surprised the production, because again, you can't really find a ton of great backup catchers in today's game. Like, it's just kind of like, oh, they'll play once every 7 days, or there's someone's designated catcher, like one of the stars. But McCann was getting tons of run.
Yeah.
And so that to me was surprising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as well. Any other? I'm trying to think of awards.
Well, on the other side, and most surprising is most disappointing. We could do most disappointing Oriole. We could do one pitcher, one hitter, or just one.
I think I have my one. I think we just do one overall.
I think. Well, now that I'm talking about it, the answer is pretty obvious. But
Greg Kimbrell, most disappointing. When you sign a closer for $14 million, you kind of hope he's not DFA'd in the biggest moments of the season. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's do this for Gunner here. Let's do other than Greg Kimbrell, because I think that's everybody's answer.
Yeah.
So outside of Kimbrell, we're eliminating him from contention here.
Wow. Biggest disappointment. I'm going to take it a different angle. I'm going to say Trevor Rogers.
Okay.
Obviously, not very long. Got sent down after like 7 starts, 6. Did he even make it to 7, 5, 6?
I don't even think he made it there. No.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say it is Trevor Rogers, because when you think about all we gave up for him, you needed guys in the bullpen or in the rotation, especially a lefty. You really thought that would help this team. So I'm gonna give it to him. It feels like Trevor Rogers. You trade away Norby, you trade away Stowers. You were hoping to get this guy from 2021, and he shows up, and it's still 2024.
Yeah, man, I don't know where to go with this one. I was the one who proposed the award, and I don't know where to go.
How do you? Well, I mean, there was one obvious one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Wow, I looked up the Orioles roster, and they have James McCann from his Detroit days. That's a throwback. I am going to go. It's not fair to pick the guy that I'm considering picking. But okay, you know what? We're doing it over the course of the regular season. No future involved with this, but Kobe Mayo.
All right, I considered him.
Kobe Mayo is mine. Again, not my view on his long term. I think he's still going to be a heck of a ball player, but he didn't really give the Orioles anything when he was up. I mean, I don't even know what he hit below 100, didn't he? He was at.
Oh yeah, I don't think he got more than. I don't think he got 3. I think he got like 3 hits.
But he was relied upon with Westberg being out and Arias being out to, with how he was able to rake down in AAA, try to at least get on base a little bit. And yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. Yeah, just under 100. 0.098 was his average.
Yeah, you could also. I considered this as well.
My computer. Oh, I just pulled up a site that my computer does not like. Second half, Adley. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going full year though, just like full sample size. So like Adley's sample size in the first half obviously was a lot better. So I'm factoring that in, but I hear you. I'm just going with like full sample size of being with the team.
The one catch work to keep him off that. I agree with this as well. Base disappointment for it was Dylan Smith.
Yeah,
Dylan T.
Good point.
He was. I was really hoping for a lot more than that. From him, and for him to just kind of, now he's with Toronto, it is tough.
Yeah. Gold Glove. If you had to give one Gold Glove.
Ooh, Gold Glove, Ryan Mountcastle. Because he saved this team so many times by picking shit out of the dirt.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll be different. I'll say Seti. It's pretty obvious. But
yeah.
I'll be different. Silver Slugger. One Silver Slugger. I think this one is
Tony.
Yeah, pretty obvious there with Tony. What else can we do? Cy Young. Corbin is mine. I'd assume that's yours too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you considering Eflin?
Yeah, but then I was like, I felt like for a quick, brief second, I forgot that he was only here half the year. I was about to be like, actually, and I was like, wait, no, he's been here half the year. You can't just give him the Cy Young. Yes, it's
Best trade deadline acquisition.
Zach Eflin.
There you go. Now you get to say him. Worst trade deadline acquisition.
Trevor Rogers. Actually, there are. I like this one. Most consistent reliever.
Oh, good one. God, I wish I could give it to Burt so badly, but
this is.
God, if only they had the solution. If only they had the solution. Mine is not fair, but I'm gonna go Danny.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Jake.
If you want full sample size, Jacob Webb.
I'm gonna go Jacob Webb.
Yeah,
I mean, I also Cano. Like Cano's had rough spots, but yeah. I'm gonna hand it to Webb also because he played almost every freaking game.
I see Joey said Kieran Roll. He consistently stunk.
that's
brutal, man.
Also, Keegan Aiken was damn consistent this year. He only had one or two ones.
He had moments where
just a few. He was either
better than I thought he was going to be this year. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Prospect you missed the most from the trade deadline.
Connor Norby every damn day of the week.
Yep. Underrated prospect you missed in the trade deadline.
Billy, that I miss.
Yeah.
Billy Cook.
Man, you're stealing on my answers. Seth, by the way, for those who don't know, Seth Johnson came up for Philly in a game this year. Started. He has like a 20 ERA or something.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
He had 2 innings, like 10 runs. It was bad. So, not great. Trying to come up with funniest guy on the team.
Funniest Colton Cowser.
We need to get less obvious awards.
I
know. I've had a rough day, man. Like I can't provide facts the right way on the Ripken show, and now I can't do the awards right.
Oh my gosh, this kid.
Here, all right. In the chat, because again, we're getting better awards from the chat than I'm giving out. Put your awards that you want us to do and you want us to all deliberate on. So we'll start with Thomas. Biggest vibes guy this year for the Orioles. That's a good one.
Colton Cowser.
Yes, but to be different, I'm going to go Gunnar. I think he leaned into himself a little more this year, and I liked that. So I'm going to say Gunnar.
I love this. Best moment of the season. Mine is the Holiday Grand Slam.
Yeah,
I really like this one.
Is that yours? You're going to go that one?
No. I like.
Oh, you like the question. Okay, I got you. I know mine.
You can go.
Mine is Kansas City. Westberg's walk-off early in the season. That was our first live reaction, I think.
That was.
And that will always hold a place for me. So
I feel like I'm taking an obvious answer, but it genuinely was that Anthony Santander Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Just
a lot of good ones.
Yeah. You see, so I'm actually I think I'm going to change it. My favorite moment was Alex Verdugo face planting on the most obvious line drive.
Yeah.
Line out and the Orioles somehow winning that game.
Yep. On Jacoby and everything that happened with him that day. Angels in the outfield, whatever you want to say. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
What else do we got here? Most memorable player? I wonder, how do we define memorable player?
Memeable.
Oh, meme.
Eloy Jimenez. Hi, Mom.
I'm having a day.
Hi, Mom. I think it's Eloy.
Yes. Memeable. That makes more sense.
It's Cowser, but
Eloy had a nice little run.
Yeah, Eloy was great.
Yeah, I'll go there. Ryan, we did Orioles Player of the Year already. I think that's kind of the same conversation as MVO.
Yeah, so it's
best play of the year.
Best play. I think that's still, best moment.
Yeah.
Best play. I'm going to give Cedric Mullins that catch where he against the Minnesota Twins, where Cole Irvin was pitching, and the complete layout, Superman. That was my favorite play.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm thinking of like outfield stuff right now. Do we have any like big home run robs? No.
I don't not like
favorite play is anytime they hit it near Juan Soto because you knew it was falling.
I think that's why you want to play the Yankees, Zach. You just want to watch Juan Soto play in the outfield.
I just love watching that guy play the outfield.
It's so funny because their only other option is putting Stanton out there.
That's why I sit here and I think about it. I feel like Juan Soto in the outfield is what it'd be like if I was put out there. Just like
you can't get a read on the ball.
Not coming off 110, and neither can he. So it makes me feel better about myself. I mean, I'm a liability at the plate, but I can misplay a ball in the outfield if that's what they need.
Yeah. Oh, this one's good. Toughest game to watch.
This wasn't watched, but for me it was listening to. I was in traffic for 3 hours coming back from the beach after I think a 4th of July weekend. And that was when we gave up 19 runs or whatever to the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah. We were both out of town that weekend.
Yeah.
That was the Cartwheels. That was when the Cartwheels did their thing. But you know what? Maybe your most recent trip ended up completely getting rid of that bad juju.
Most improved. So this is interesting because you can take this a lot of places, I feel like. I'm going to say Jordan Westburg most improved. It wasn't because he did anything out of the ordinary, but it's the fact that he just is consistently – I thought he would be a guy that, yeah, he can be batting 7, 8 in your lineup and you feel pretty damn good about it. To now he's a guy that I think you stick in the number 2 spot and you ride it for the playoffs. Like he became the producer. All he does is produce. Like if we're talking biggest improvement, it's got to be Westbrook in my mind.
I'm giving a hot take for this one. I feel like I haven't given hot takes yet. I'm going Dean. And not because the stats were better, because really they were kind of on par and he had a worse win-loss this year. But again, I don't necessarily put too much stock into pitcher wins.
Always a pitcher stat.
I don't put too much stock into that. His ERA was only 0.02 below what it was last year, but I just felt a lot more confident with Dean on the mound this season. I felt a lot more confident. It just felt like you could trust him a lot more than you could in years past, where you didn't really know what you were gonna get with Dean over the last few years, where he would either spin a gem or just absolutely implode. And it felt a lot more this season, like whenever he was out there, like that's the guy in a tough spot. There were a couple of pitchers you felt this way about, but Dean was one of them, where you wanted him on the mound when the Orioles were going through it because you knew that he would give you 5 innings of 2 or 3 run ball, and that to me, I'm going to go Dean.
Yeah, I like that. And then this can kind of start turning towards as we wrap up with more of a look ahead. Player to watch in the playoffs. Who you think is going to be that kind of X factor?
We could do this by round. I kind of liked, revisiting this question every round, and hopefully there are a lot of rounds for this team.
Hopefully we at least have another time we answer this question.
At least
one more time. I'm going to stick to the same answer. Actually, no.
Oh, switching up.
Mm-hmm. MVP of this wild card series.
I guess, yeah, X Factor, MVP.
Yeah, well, okay, X Factor. X Factor for this wild card series. The guy who's going to be the difference maker. Ramon Urias.
Oh, I like that one. That's a good one.
I don't know what it is. I just feel like it's Ramon. Oh, also like Adley.
Adley is a good one. I think Adley is the guy. So I like your answer because Urias is like that underrated player that if he steps up, like that just improved their chances a ton. But Adley's the guy that they need to be able to go out there and produce for them. Like he is the X factor in the way of they need their star to be a star. Arias is the X factor in the way of this guy can really turn the tides in series. So that's where I am. And also, Joey, I can't let this one. I can't let these ones slide. Biggest Oriole jinxer. Rocco and his Cole Irvin jinx, or Kevin and his Ohio cartwheel jinx.
That's tough.
Really? You're not really?
Actually, it's got to be you because, as they said, Rocco killed a player. You killed the whole team.
I killed the franchise.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is a tough scene for me. Who knew that cartwheels could do so much harm, especially after I risked my life to do them. That was
yeah.
That was tough. Also, where's the other one? Most disappointing KZR character. Gunnar Henderson going Rocco. He can't even cook chicken. God, so true. So yeah, I'll go with Rocco. Rocco, guest appearance, Rocco.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Rocco's definitely it.
And wow, okay, they're also putting a player on me too. So
yeah, that is very true.
Apparently, I killed the franchise and a player. So yeah, I'm getting compared to Kevin Brown. You know what? It's just in the name, I guess. I don't know. It's just in the name.
You know, that was a tough one. I always forget that your cartwheels killed the team.
Was it the cartwheels or was it the sprint down the hallway?
Might have been the sprint.
I ran through an alternate dimension. I guess I was going too fast, and I went to the dimension where the Orioles got bad instead of they were good. So yeah, and people are cooking me because I can't cook the ramen. So I guess it's Rocco's chicken versus my ramen.
Yeah.
But by the way, I liked it when I poured the water out. I didn't like all that soupy stuff. I want to just have the noodles. So I cooked it with the water, then I dumped out the water and put all this stuff on there. Oh, all right. This is actually, I like this one. Funniest KZR moment. And should we group this in with the Ripken show? Because technically, or should we stick it to just this one?
Just the reaction. Just post.
Okay. All right. Just reactions. Oh, there's still a lot.
For me, it's Aviator donating the 50 for you to have to sprint down the hallway.
That was the best reaction by you and Rocco. That was my favorite reaction.
Yeah, I think that is. Oh, you saw yourself in the face with the ham was also up there.
Yeah, that I did not understand the assignment on that one at all. Yeah, I see. Where's the stick in there? The potatoes were a moment. Birch fish versus Rip Fin, that fish debate we had in here. That got very controversial.
That was bad. That was
oh yeah. Yeah, versus I see the hotel tour before the sprint, so much build up and the jokes about security watching. There were people working in the hotel that were certainly wondering what the heck I was doing up there.
Yeah, then you just start sprinting.
Yeah, spicy pickles were good. The catcher, yeah, me at Hollywood posing with the gear.
That was incredible. That was incredible.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I have that picture, Marcus. I'm not sure that. I think Ryan is, or maybe you have it, Zach. I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, where someone has that.
I think I have it. Hold on. I think I can find it really quickly.
Real fast while we're doing that, I like this one by how about the leadership award? Best leader on the Baltimore Orioles.
Leader.
I already have mine. James McCann.
Yeah. I think you have to.
Yeah, especially after he got hit in the face and just bodied it and kept going. Like, he is the epitome of a leader. He just everything about James McCann, the way that everyone else talks about him. You know, they talk about his leadership and all he means to the team. So I'm going to say McCann.
Yep, I'm going there too. I just think, there's no one really else that I would. There are a couple, but I'm going to give it to McCann as well. Here, let me. Oh man, we have gems in this chat, Zach. Here's my Elvis picture where I look exactly like Elvis. You remember that one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, exactly. There's an uncanny resemblance between me and Elvis in that one. All right. While I'm looking for this picture, we can talk about this. One of my in the 18 corn dogs. I mean, 24 hours. Isn't it 24-hour stream?
Yeah.
Is that what we decided on?
Yeah, it's got to be, doesn't it?
That's what I'd assume.
Yeah, because we have a lot built up. How close are we to that? Actually, I think we're
under 1,000 away.
Under 1,000 away from the 24-hour stream.
Almost 900 away, I think, actually.
Yeah. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Get here faster.
Or if someone donates the channel $2,400, I'll also do it.
Yeah, that would.
Just as an aside, I'm just saying. I'm just saying we can either hit 2,400 subs or someone can donate $2,400. Either way, you're gonna get the content. So slow burn versus fast burn, whichever one you want. Man, I'm trying to. I found the photo. I'm trying to save it, but no, Rick, I'm gonna do it during the 24-hour stream. We're gonna do one hot dog, or sorry, 2 corn dogs in 1 gin and tonic per inning. 18 corn dogs, 9 gin and tonics. I'm so ready. You look even more flabbergasted than you did when I didn't even have.
Every time I hear it, it's just unreal.
Dude, I can down gin and tonics and I can down corn dogs, man. Not pause. But anyway, I think that for me, I don't know why you would bet against me. I have all the confidence in the world.
That's why I'm betting against you, because I don't see this happening.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to be – I hate to be a hater, but I just –
You are definitely being a hater right now. Although you do not hate being a hater. Don't give me that.
Wow.
You love being a hater.
Amon-Ra St. Brown just threw a touchdown pass to Jared Goff.
Oh.
That was the thing that just happened. Okay. That was all right. I literally just turned on the thing to see what the score was, and I just saw Jared Goff.
Dude, why can't what the heck is this run from David Montgomery, man? Okay.
David Montgomery is having a night.
Hold on, I need to find the Where is this video? Sorry, we're football tweeting mode for a second. Before I swear I tweeted about this. Where is it?
Are you looking for the Prochet?
No.
Oh, I thought you were looking for the Prochet. But yeah, let's move a little bit into forehead eye here. The looking ahead. So the Orioles facing the Royals tomorrow. Less than, gosh, what are we? 18 hours away from first pitch. Actually, exactly 18 hours away from first pitch. So, Kevin, just kind of predictions. How do you think the Orioles win this series? You know, are you concerned? Where are you standing? Because personally, I think with how the Orioles are playing, I think with just everything going on, they've got it all in front of them. So 1 through 10, we've talked about before and answered in the chat. 1 through 10, confident in being able to get past the Royals. I'm gonna say mine's an 8.5. I'm saying it's an 8.5 right now. I like their odds. I like who they have on the mound and all of that.
I'm gonna go 7.5. I like them in this game. I think that they are going to take the series from Kansas City. But yeah, I think, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. All right. I guess I have to use this video, whatever.
What video are you using?
The Troy Smith Flacco thing.
The Troy, the all the way, the Flacco catching the touchdown all the way.
It wasn't a touchdown.
Like what, the 3?
No, he tripped over his own feet.
Crazy.
It was sad. All right, let me see it on the way out. I'll try to download this picture because I did find it.
Where did you find it?
It's in our DMs.
Oh, then I'll just pull it up real fast.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
All
we
right.
got the cat birthday in here.
All right, Kevin. Any final thoughts? Just that we want to talk about real fast before we head out. And next time we see him is
Yeah, next time we talk is gonna be after game 1 of the Orioles playoffs, man. That is crazy to think about. You know what? It's crazy, man. This is my first season covering baseball. And obviously I've been covering football for the past 6 seasons, 5 years. And man, it's different, but it's fun. And I loved going through the ups and downs of it. And it's not over yet, obviously, but I never really anticipated I'd be covering baseball, but life takes funny turns all the time. And, you know, the Orioles are the talk of town during baseball season now, which is fun, right? It's fun to have them be competitive and it's fun to have them do their thing. And while it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows this year, hopefully they can put together a heck of a playoff run to make my first season of covering the Orioles a good one. My first season of covering the Ravens was Lamar's first MVP year. So, hey, man, maybe it's some
maybe
first.
it's you.
Yeah, although hopefully they don't. Hopefully they don't meet the end that the Ravens did.
We can only hope.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's gonna be next time we talk. I just saw Mike ask. I'll be there at Pickles around 1. Getting ready to watch some ball. Get there early, get loud.
Yep, and we will be going live, and it'll be hopefully an all-time Bali on the streets for hopefully an Orioles playoff win.
Oh, we'll be Bali on the streets, don't you worry.
So good through the good and the bad of this playoff run. Get pumped for it, get excited. Good to have some excited, some nervous. I think we all have that. And man, it's going to be a time. Pack the yard, make it loud, and just pray to whoever you can that the Orioles will get the job done.
Couldn't have put it better, Spirit Bomb. Grateful that I can have this pit of nerves in my stomach in October. Yep. Way better than the alternative. That's right. So on our way out, I'll have to make sure everyone sees starting tomorrow. Let's hope Adley plays a lot better than our boy Kevin.
Do you see? If you were a pitcher, you'd have to throw a strike. Because the way that I'm looking at you, if you don't throw a strike, we're gonna have problems. Do you see that? Do you see the frame? Do you see where my mitt is located right there? That placement is good. And Marcus, I am a lefty. That's a righty glove, but that was the only one they had, so I had to improvise. But I am a lefty.
Finding out you were lefty was also one of those moments for me that I was like, no way.
Kevin is getting ejected one pitch in after arguing with the he called it a strike.
Kevin just wants to let his opinion be heard.
I need to be heard, all right? I need to be heard.
Exactly. Yeah, and hopefully we'll be heard tomorrow because be there and be the noise. God, that was a good segue.
Boom. But
we'll be
one
back
of your better ones. You've had some questionable ones.
That was really bad. That was really bad.
You've gotten, you know what? Most improved Orioles, Zach Bollinger for his transitions.
That was so bad. I'll never forget that. I don't know why I thought that was a good segue.
Ryan and I were like, oh. Jeez, man. And today you had multiple opportunities to take that and you didn't, so that's growth.
That's such improvement.
That's growth.
That was God testing me.
It was, and you know what? You passed with flying colors.
Flying colors. But that'll do it for today's edition of Kevin and Zach Reacts. We'll be back tomorrow as the Baltimore Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals in a rematch from the 2014 ALCS. It's Wild Card Tuesday in Baltimore. And we will see you there at the conclusion of the Orioles and Royals Game 1. We'll see you tomorrow. As always, Chihuahuas.